Hi everyone, welcome to BurgBoys. I'm Max.
I'm Terence.
And this is your weekly dive into the most interesting news with our reaction and take on what's happening.
So Max,
Yes.
how have you been the short while that we restarted filming?
Well, it's been quite surprising. Things have taken quite a different turn in terms of certain relationships, I would say.
Oh yeah, you had a whirlwind weekend. Right?
Not a whirlwind, but more like I was caught off guard
By
certain
someone
things.
you dated recently.
Perhaps.
Would you like to describe just as an introduction, right? How has it impacted you?
Not say impact me, but I think long story short, I guess to a certain extent, incomplete truths were spread among key stakeholders, right?
Social circle, basically.
Social circle, yes,
Yeah,
correct.
yeah.
So I think what that resulted in is a lot of misunderstanding between some of me and my friends, right? And I think to clear that up was quite a difficult thing. But I would say right now it's cleared, right? And it's also a learning point for me, right? Which actually kind of ties into our discussion for today, right? Not really say we have news to discuss, but maybe we share a bit more about reflections for the year, right?
Yeah.
Right. So maybe let's discuss this among four aspects, right? Maybe let's talk about career wise.
Hey, why are you moving on so quickly?
Okay. You go.
Huh? I mean, I
Ask.
haven't really asked it. You want to move on to the topic.
Interrogate me. Go.
So, will you still be talking to her?
I won't. I don't think I will. Right. I don't think I have the capacity for
More drama, right?
Yeah, it's like, I just kind of want to live my life peacefully. I mean, I discussed with you back then, right? I mean, for the viewers.
Actually, you were genuinely interested at one point.
Yes, I was. I felt like it was a very good talking, talking stage wise was very nice, right? And perhaps maybe like what you alluded to, it was more about the similarity in the lifestyle or the background or the family background. So maybe that helped us to bond. But then of course, once you get to know someone more, you kind of realize, okay, maybe I should kind of cut my losses. Right, I don't know. Yeah, but I mean, dude, the person was great, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the person is great.
I'm a PR guy, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so maybe I introduce the topic since I
Sure,
interrupted you.
Yeah, of course.
So I mean,
You go ahead.
year end, we want to do some reflection, just to document how the year went.
Yep.
Maybe we start off with reflections of the year, right? And maybe we can look at it across four key areas, right?
Yep.
Our career, relationships, portfolio, and maybe others, right? I think this one is more on a personal level. So for example, things like others could be things like, we started BurgBoys.
Yep.
Finally got it off the ground.
Finally, which is
So
very good.
I think this is really up to your own interpretation.
Correct.
So maybe since I introduced the topic, I'll let you kick it off first.
For
career
career,
standpoint, right? How do you think this year, what's your reflection for the year?
Yeah, I think not to be cliche or anything, but I think long story short, objectively, I feel the first 6 months was good. First 6 months of the year. And the next 6 months, the recent 6 months was not as good. and I think a key learning point, right, to give some context to the viewers is basically that to summarize it very, very bluntly, right, I did not put in the baseline amount of effort, right, I guess. I mean, in my view, I did, perhaps, right? But optics-wise, I wasn't performing as how I should have.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
So even though it was my output that went to the client, whatever, but from the higher ups, maybe they don't see it as, being of significant effort, or maybe even relative to me in the past, my performances, it has decreased quite a bit, right?
Yeah, there's a difference, basically.
There's a difference, right? And I think what I learned here is actually and I'm still figuring out, to be honest. I was just mentioning to you earlier as we were prepping for this. I'm still figuring out what was my mindset, what happened to me, what was this shift. But what I could immediately pick up on was also the fact that actually it doesn't take a lot, right? To be very honest with you, it doesn't take a lot to perform at a level where it's satisfactory for everybody, right? I mean, looking back, were there things I should have done? Could I have managed my energy better throughout these last 6 months to at least create a good impression? 100%. Right? And it was a deliberate choice of mine to not do that, right? So these are some things I have to go back and think on and think about how I want to approach the next 6 months or 1 year in this firm or in whatever others that will come, right? So career-wise, this is my biggest takeaway. I think for the first 6 months, the things that went well, it was status quo, right? I guess projects were projects. I did as per usual. I managed my relationships well.
Yeah.
So no complaints there, right? I mean, none of the have no complaints. But the recent 6 months, it was a learning point for me, lah.
Yeah, to be honest, from outside in, I mean, can I comment?
Of course.
So I think outside in, I think you're right. I think there are two parts to what we do, right? I think I wouldn't say there's a lack of baseline effort, because if the project gets delivered, it gets delivered, right? It is what it is. But I think for sure I think perhaps you're also going through a phase whereby you're probably reflecting on, your career. I think you've been in the firm for a few years, really. So you're probably reflecting on like opportunities, whether you still want to do it. And I think you got sidetracked with all this as well, right? With all the things that you wanted to do outside of work, right? Reflecting on life in general, because you also did a lot of the boxing thing at one point.
Correct.
You were in this fitness arc as well. And then at the same time, you're also like reflecting whether this is the career you want to go forward. And I think part of that also means that you took your somewhat like you just did what you need at work. But of course, in the eyes of others, right, there's suddenly a decrease in like what you used to do. You know what I mean? So I think right now you're probably reflecting, so you're figuring it out. So
So I mean, just to add on, I love what you said, right? Because humans, we just have finite energy, correct? So maybe it's an allocation issue for me, right? Maybe I need to reprioritize better. Maybe I need to allocate more efficiently, effectively. So these are some of the things I'm going to think about and carry into next year, lah. That's for sure, lah.
Yeah, I think for me, career reflections for 2025. I mean, firstly, I have a much longer career than you. This is actually my 10th year of working.
That's crazy. A decade, by the way. Can you think about that?
Yeah. So I've been working for this is my 10th year. So I felt like this year was it's just going and doing a bunch of different type of projects. I guess this also is a year where in consulting every year you kind of like either you moved up or it's a year that you're not meant to move up, and then things kind of just continue right. So I feel like this was one year where there wasn't really very set objectives on like progression.
Correct.
So you kind of just delivered projects here and there, and I think from a project standpoint, I think I delivered what I could get allocated to and delivered. Anything else I couldn't really control, right? Because you hit a point in your career whereby you're also dictated by whoever's senior,
you're working with, the team,
the senior,
right? Exactly.
The people who are more senior, whether you get the opportunities to step into wear different hats, different roles. So I think from a career standpoint, I felt I did what I could.
Yeah, and also I want to add, right? I think something that was quite. I'm not trying to uncut you or anything, but to be fair, I think for me, like what you mentioned, 10 years in, right? And then I felt like throughout this year, you also took a lot of active steps to improve on aspects that perhaps you or people said that you had to work on. Outreach, all this kind of stuff. I think for someone that works 10 years to still have the humility and to work on all this kind of stuff and be action orientated is something you should be quite happy about. That's how I feel. Yeah,
so I think just take small wins. I think I'm just happy with the projects. I think throughout that I felt like I delivered. I felt like I had done what I could. I think I don't feel like I could have done more than what I could.
Fair.
Yeah, so I think
you're basically saying you're a good PM.
No, I think aspirationally I also reached a point where I'm not really in a rush to do anything anymore.
True.
So I'm kind of quite at peace.
Question. So you're at peace now. Is that limited to your current employment, or you mean like overall career-wise, you're quite okay where you are?
I think it's how you allocate your energy. Just now, I think you made a very good point, which I didn't really consider. And I think this is how you frame it. It's how you sort of like disperse your energy, right?
Yes,
right now I'm okay with like I realize that a lot of things within like at least the career bucket I can't really control. So I allocate what I feel like is required for me to do my job effectively.
Fair.
And then I rather focus my mind energy into other things, because this year I also had a lot of things I've been doing, right? My house renovation. We also we still obviously started BurgBoys as well.
Correct. You go JB more than me now for furniture.
Then I also technically ROM this year.
Exactly. Congrats again.
A lot of different things, right, which we will explore further. So I think in terms of the mental energy allocated outputs, I think it is what it is. But of course there are parts of my career that I don't like. I think towards the end of the year I end up going back on the travelling grind. I would ideally I think this but I think it's hard to avoid in this profession.
It is, yeah.
If I could change one thing,
Yeah.
that would be one aspect that I would like to change.
Agree.
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah, I think overall, to be fair, in our kind of work, there's an element of predictability, right? To kind of what we are expected to do. So not many surprises, perhaps, but maybe more of things we can optimize better, lah, right?
Yeah. But maybe last point on career.
Okay, last point.
Reflection for 2026, right? How would you let's give a rating. How would you rate the overall career performance, I would say?
For me,
yeah,
5.5 out of 10.
5.5.
5.5, 6 out of 10. Yeah.
For me, I'll give mine 6.5. Roughly there. I think that's fair. I think there's definitely a lot that I could do. But I think career is not a 1 year kind of thing, right? It's a build up of many different years.
Exactly.
So I think if I look across the body of work, I would say 6.5 is fair also for this year.
Fair.
Not but I also say I don't think it was really like I was expecting much out of my career this year.
To be honest.
Okay. So maybe let's move on to the
relationships.
Relationships.
Yeah.
You want to go first?
Okay. Relationships wise, I'll break it down in 2 aspects, right?
I think 2 aspects in terms of how many girls you dated. Right? Let's start with the number. Let's start big picture. Then we go to
how many girls I interacted with, how about that?
Yeah.
Quite a number, right? But also I think okay. So what I want to say is one of the opposite sex, one of this with the people of the same sex, right? So I think with females wise, I think my reflection point is, right, I should be, I don't know, maybe more selective with the people I choose to pursue maybe a relationship with, right? But also at the same time, I cannot deny this, right? I don't know if the viewers feel the same way, but sometimes you just for the night yeah. It's quite fun. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what you're saying.
There's this too. Maybe when you were 28 you knew. When you were 28 you understood. But there's always this allure to it, right?
Yeah.
And I think right now I still kind of enjoy it, just having that kind of carefree, no consequence kind of interaction, right? I don't have to think about, I need to do this, do that with this girl. It's more of like, okay, in the moment, let's have a good time. Because for me, the way I approach things is always like, I don't want anything out of it. For me, it's just, okay, look, I just want to have a good time with someone that I just met or whatever. Just get to know each other better. If things work out, they work out. But it's never expectation that I want it to work out. That's how I view it, right? So I guess I want to maintain this kind of carefree attitude, but with a bit more intentionality, right? I hope moving forward also. I think that's something I could fine-tune, right? And then on the flip side, I think with the guys, I'm very happy that, I think I deepened my relationship with my close friends like you, through BurgBoys and through our discussions over beer or whatever, right? And then I also think, with some of my closer group of friends, I also kind of bonded more, right? So as you know me, I'm not a guy with a very wide social profile, especially for guys. It's like a pretty close circle, right? So I think for me, I'm very satisfied with that. Nothing wrong with that. I think everybody there, my friends, I can trust on them to call me on stuff, right? You always tell me, Max, I think objectively, this is something you need to think about. My other friends, shout out to Dylan, whoever, they do the same thing. They're like, hey, actually you got to count your blessings, blah, blah, blah. So I think I have a very nice circle that I can trust. So I'm no problem for me there. I think I want to maintain this into 2026. That's how I think about it.
Okay, on the boys' side, fair enough. Let's
that one is fine, right? There was no controversy there.
Yeah. I guess on the reflections for your, I guess, relationships involving females, I guess. What do you think, more specifically, right? Some highlights and some lowlights. Because for you, it's interesting. I mean, you met so many girls. Some highlights, some really like memorable parts of the year, and some lowlights. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
Tell me one situation maybe that illustrate the highlight.
Highlights. I think the girls that I interacted with, right. Let me keep this rather vague, right? Because I don't want to. They might be subscribed, I don't know. But for the girls I hang out with, I interacted with, the highlights are some of them are actually very close in a working sense.
Yeah.
Right? So I know some of them are literally directly related from a working angle. And then there's also quite a few taxi stories, right? That were floating around. I mean, maybe for this, we need to start Patreon. This kind of stuff cannot be just,
Only fans about Patreon to get flagged.
Yeah, so I think some of my taxi stories were good memories, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and then, obviously, I kind of very close to eating where I shit. Is it?
I don't know whether you want to say that.
Let's take that back.
Yeah. That's how. What about a low light this year, relationship wise?
Yeah, I think at the start of the year, I think you also know about this girl, right? I was dating this girl at the start of the year until February, right? And then it didn't work out, right? So I think I mentioned to her last year in Shanghai also.
Yeah.
So yeah, it didn't work out. That one was actually a bit of a bummer because I think even though maybe we don't connect that well verbally or maybe like in terms of other stuff, but I think emotionally we had a pretty good connection. So that not working out actually bummed me out. We already met parents, everything. So downside is that, and maybe it's my fault lah. I mean, she always had a problem with some of my vices, which I didn't want to fix.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, that's fair. For me, relationship wise, this year actually a lot of key milestones. So I proposed in May.
Yes.
So basically, if you think about proposing May means that earlier this year I was already thinking about where I'm going to propose.
Correct.
So you can say 2025 is the year where I was like, no, I guess I took a step forward with my relationship.
Yes.
Then I think I ROM'd 2 months back. And also I'm almost done with my house renovations as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of progress in the relationship. But I think that's the good. I guess that's all the highlights. But low lights I think is that because I think it's tough to. It's tough to juggle. I think when it's tough to juggle relationship when you have a lot of things going on at work and other different things.
Yes.
And so when you as you progress to the next phase, where you have your a lot of house stuff that you need to settle, and also all the administrative stuff as you when you progress to the next step, right? It's quite a stressful process, and sometimes it can be stressful for both parties.
For sure.
And sometimes what it means is that you tend to sometimes argue and stuff like that. So I wished, some of it I could have handled it better.
Yeah.
But that definitely is a low light for the year.
But how are you managing that stress now? How do you want to, I guess, like manage it better or?
I think it's to be more careful with what I say, and I need to also be more aware in terms of like regulating yourself as well.
Fair.
And also just some things how you are very good at it is you bring the right energy even despite you are being tired.
Correct.
So it's just that because sometimes it's just very hard, right? Because towards the end of the year when I was dealing with all the renovation stuff, I was traveling back and forth, right? And by the time you land on the weekends, you just want to lay down.
You just want to rest. You just want to
but the reality is that you have some admin to sort out.
Fair.
So honestly, it's not the most exciting for guys, right? I mean, looking at
contracts and laminates and colours, curtains.
Correct. So, but you have to. It is what it is, right? It's a joint process. You cannot have one person doing it, the other don't, right?
Yeah. If not, that will breed discontent down the road, right?
Correct. So, but I think the highlights very trump the lowlights.
For sure.
So very memorable 2025. I think 2026 also will be a lot of milestones as well because I'll formally have the wedding ceremony and everything. Moved in. So that'll be a very big milestone. So looking forward to it. So
we have a BurgBoys special that episode.
Okay.
Not in this room. You'll be at.
So shall we give an overall rating relationship wise? Oh yeah, I didn't talk about the guy the relationship, the friends, right?
Yeah,
so relationship with friends, I would say actually this year is somewhat. I mean, of course, with you clearly we hung out significantly, but also partially because we are colleagues as well.
Yeah.
But I feel like this has taken a backseat this year. In fact, over the years, progressively gotten lesser because I think again, there's only so much thing. Weekends have to deal with all the admin. Monday, Friday, you're always working.
True.
And the only people you hang out with are those that you have access to.
Correct.
Which is someone like we're in the same office.
The situation makes it.
And then time flexibility also is a lot easier. Like today, we want to hang out. It's just I see you at our office, then we can just organize.
Yeah.
The reality is that it's harder to meet up. So
and I guess also your friends also are of a certain life stage also. They also have their own family and their own commitments, right? So I think that makes it tough also.
So it's so you kind of treasure those moments more, but I wish I had more time to like play a sport. The last time I used to have friends I cycle with.
Yeah.
Or at the start of the year I was still playing pickleball, then I lost because I lost track because I'm just so busy at work.
Correct.
So how about let's give a rating for that before I know it's not this video will get too long.
Yeah. Okay. Let's for me, Overall, I'll give it a 8 out of 10 for me. I'm really happy with the relationships that I built.
No, let's split it up like the friends.
Oh, okay. Friends wise, 9. I'm really quite happy. I am really no complaints on my side. For female wise, 7.8. Yeah, 7.8. Yeah.
7.8 divided by the number. So the score is very low.
So it's actually 0.5 per person.
You now share the denominator. Okay, for me, my side, I would say with my partner, I would say 8. Because I think I think a lot of key milestones this year.
Yep.
But also I think a lot of administrative tasks to get through. So I think so relationship wise, I think we are in a good place.
Yeah.
So I think
Agree.
but I think personal friendship relationship, I would say probably like 5. I think really compared to his past years, I really have this has come down significantly.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Okay.
We have one more aspect, right? Before we end.
The portfolio.
Okay, this one very fast for me. It's
Can be fast. Let's just move it. It's fast. Let's move on.
Yeah.
No. Let's
just
give
quickly
you one liner.
yeah.
Give a one liner and give it.
For me, portfolio, it's not ideal, right?
Yeah.
To be very honest, it's not ideal. Especially in the recent 2 quarters, right? I mean, what the hell has been going on with crypto, right? And as you guys all know, it's a big percentage of my port. So I guess for me, what can I do, right? I guess maybe I can be a bit more risk averse, but that's not my style also, and that's not my risk appetite. I'm not going to change that. So hopefully it turns out better, lah. So for me, overall rating portfolio 4 out of 10. I've seen better years, lah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. To me, if you would ask me this question 2 months ago before the crypto crash, I would have given like almost like 9.5 year, because literally was up across all segments of portfolio.
Yes. Yeah.
But crypto is down, so I wouldn't give myself such a great year. I'll say overall I'll give a 7.5. I still feel overall it has been a very good year. If let's say today you have quite a diversified portfolio, you have all the tech names, it still has been a fantastic year, right? It's a bull market.
Yeah.
And
I don't see it stopping also, right? Moving to next year, to be honest. Look at all these.
I mean, there's a lot of reports out there on bubbles.
Correct.
But when people say articulating bubbles, usually some people will be conservative already. So it's somewhat priced in. Bubbles form when people is most unexpected. Right?
Exactly.
So,
rating
7.5.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm satisfied this year.
Yeah, cool.
Others, maybe I go first lah.
Yeah,
I think 2 parts
ahead.
on others. One is hobbies, which I define. Second is fitness. So maybe I start with fitness first. I think I could have done more. I think I wish I'm more. I think towards the second half, I think it got better. But I wish I'm more consistent. So I'll give myself 5.5 to 6. I think this year I still work out 4 to 5 times a week throughout. That's what's considered. But I think diet wise, mindset wise, could be sharper. Because I think when you go to the gym, sometimes you just go through the process, right? You only maintain.
Correct.
Right,
but there's no marginal improvement.
Because but your mindset is right, you force yourself to be in better shape.
Correct.
Which I think towards the second half I started doing that.
Yeah.
And I see a marked improvement. The other part is the hobbies. I think I'll give 5 to 6 as well, 5.5 maybe, passable, because I think a lot of things that I used to enjoy I stopped doing already. Cycling, football, but I think this year you cannot. There's BurgBoys.
Yeah.
So definitely a memorable year, regardless how long we keep this up for.
Correct.
So
amazing.
that's a total wrap up for my
life. I think for others, for me, I'm actually very happy with myself. Like when I think back on this year, there's a lot of firsts that I did lah. Right, I think first of all, obviously, like you mentioned, BurgBoys is one, which is I'm very happy about. To be honest, I've always wanted to, put some of my speaking skills that I will develop it further, right? And I think this what better way, right? And I'm very happy about it. And then also, I think for me also, I had my first boxing match, right? Regardless of how it ended, I had a very good experience, right? I think for me, going to that ring, the adrenaline was bar none, right? I think I had a great experience putting myself in that situation, going through water cut, training hard, and then I think for me that was a very good learning point. I learned more about myself throughout that as well, That's number 2. And then number 3 also, I think I'm glad I did my goal of 1 track per year. This year I went Kyrgyzstan, as alluded to before. And I think for that, I once again, all my tracks help me to re-ground myself, right? Re-understand how, learn from different cultures, how humble people are, be more rooted to reality. So I think, that also helped me a lot. So, when I look at this year, I'm sure there's a lot of other stuff that I can't even remember now, but I'm very happy how I took more ownership, you know what I'm saying, of doing things I wanted to do. I think that if I could summarize my others, right, it's the fact that I took more chances for myself. So I think overall, for me, others-wise, it's like a 9 out of 10 for me. I'm really happy, and I hope to keep this momentum going into next year.
Yeah,
that's how I view it.
Actually, I really like the fact that we are documenting this because the fact that just to give us some sort of a playback on the reflections, right? But sometimes you get lost in the day to day.
Correct.
And then it helps us stop think. So I mean, now a broad summary for me. I think that let's say today, if I give a summary rating for my year, I would say roughly about 7. I think with spikes in both personal relationship with my other my partner and my portfolio, which I've been quite satisfied with the year. The average part is probably the career, and below average I would say is the others lah. Despite BurgBoys, because if without BurgBoys I will give it failing marks. Really,
I guess
for hobbies as well as fitness. But I think that's a summary of my year. I think.
For me, I think I will give same score, right? And I think the above average part for me really will be the others, right? The things that I took initiative on. And also my relationship with my guy friends. I think I'm very happy, very pleasant with that. What is average is just female relationships. Matter of fact, I'll put work around here also average. It's kind of within, however things turn out was kind of within my expectations. You know what I'm saying? I kind of knew this was coming. So I
disagree.
Really?
I feel like you turned it out, but I don't think you have scored it objectively that.
Maybe not. Yeah, I think maybe there was an element of shock, right? To be fair, but it's just that I internalized it. Really.
Okay.
True. But obviously below average for me is definitely my portfolio, right?
Here you are giving investment advice.
Yeah, I guess I think for next year, BurgBoys need to do a content refresh. Unless Q1, as Tom Lee said, Ethereum. 11k USD.
But you see, I to me, my thoughts on this is I mean, we are not really giving out advice.
Yeah, we're not. We're just sharing.
We're just sharing different aspects of our life. Coming as a corporate person.
Yep.
So these are the various aspects that if anyone goes through the same thing, this is how we think about our own reflections.
100%.
Okay, cool.
I think that's all for this video, right? It's a good way to end the year with some reflections.
No, we are moving on to actually the next video.
Yes,
which is our aspirations or our
resolutions
for 2026.
Yep. So catch you guys in the next one. Bye.